Like for me, all of this is very traumatic because I'm I'm selling the stuff that we once walked into a store and consciously bought for our baby together. Um, it's sad because like you had a image of what life was gonna be after you bought, let's say the potty training thing, right? I just sold it yesterday for like probably $5. I know I spent like at least 20 on it, 25 maybe. And it's not so much the money part that hurts, even though it does hurt. It's the whole, my baby didn't even get to use it. Like, I'm not even going to be able to get to show him or teach him anything, how to use it because he doesn't live with me. And I live in a trailer, so they won't even let him spend time with me by ourselves. I don't get no unsupervised. Like, man, I've been getting treated like a stepchild. Like, everybody gets, like, I've already done everything that they asked me. I'm waiting on them. They want me to have a psych eval and therapy. I want therapy for me because I know that a narcissist fucked me up. So I know I need therapy, at least 7 to 10 years worth of therapy because like these people really fuck you up, right? Like if I was with her for 5 years, that means it's gonna take at least twice as long for me to get better and shit and be able to finally be in a relationship to where I won't be an abusive uh, piece of crap because I failed to get therapy when I was supposed to. Like most people just go from one relationship and jump into the next one, right? Not giving a fuck about the consequences. I've learned that there's consequences that aren't going to be very positive when you ignore uh, help, when you ignore getting help when you know you need it. Like I know I need it. Why? Because I was getting triggered for every little thing. Like I see a picture of a baby, I'll cry. If I hear a baby talking, I'll cry. Just a bunch of shit that she fucked me up. And CPS did the same shit to me when they took my babies, right? Um, but I've done everything that they've asked for. Like just because I'm not friendly to the agency, I get treated wrong. Like I get abused. My son gets abused. Um, like this is abuse to my baby. All this keeping the father away from the baby. That's abuse. I don't care what you guys think. It's abuse because he's only 2 years old and already being victimized by the system by not letting him be around his dad. I'm the first teacher. I woke up with him every morning. Like I wake up early and he wakes up early, so uh, I wouldn't try to force him to go back to sleep like she would. I'd get up and I start making him breakfast because he wakes up hungry. I'd wake up and I start making him breakfast because I know that's what he wants. She sleeps until noon. Um, it's just messed up. Like the whole thing is just messed up. Like, uh, I know I'm not in the wrong. If I was using drugs, then I'd be embarrassed to make these videos because I know that people are smart. You know, I know people know they could tell when somebody's using drugs and when they're not. When somebody's like not level-headed, people could tell. Um, it's just, and I've always known that if if you're doing right and you're not doing anything to hurt anybody else, and you're just trying to like get your life together after you fucked it up with drugs and gangs and all that shit. Like, there's people out there that have been that have gone through the same shit that I have, and they want to see somebody like me that's trying, that's sincere. Uh, they want to see me succeed, and I know that they do because I've heard them say that the only way for them to keep their sobriety is for them to give it away. And I feel like I've been giving that gift, and I know there's people out there that as long as I'm not out there begging, I'm out there trying. I still have stuff to sell. And even if I didn't have stuff to sell, I'd go find stuff to sell. Because it's not so much that I feel like I'm better than people that beg or ask for money. No, it's not that. It's just that ever since I was a child, my grandma, my mom, my uncles, they all set an example for me, right? And it was always work, 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 work. Like, hey, you don't ask. I mean, if I couldn't work, like, and I can't work because my back's fucked up, right? But I'm I could still sell things. I could sit down and put stuff out and say it's for sale. I'm not lifting anything. I'm not doing anything. I could do it from laying down position, and I have done it in the laying down position, to where people just pass by and buy if they're gonna buy. If not, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not asking them for nothing, and there's no love lost between anybody. It's just like, oh, I'm just trying to exist like everybody else, without hurting anybody and without exploiting anybody else or taking from anybody else. And I think that's very important. Uh, but yeah, like, uh, I know there's people out there that want to see me succeed, but just as the same, I know there's a lot of people that want to see me fail. But I mean, God is in my life now. Like, I didn't have him in my life before, and now that I do, life is different, definitely. But um, the struggle isn't over. My son is still over there, and I'm still over here. Uh, you know, trying to exist. It's hard to exist in San Diego, living in a trailer. It's not the same anymore. Things have changed. There's new laws that require you to have permits and shit, that you can't just park anywhere you want. You can't go to the Mission Bay anymore and park overnight like we used to. Um, it's like they made it extra difficult for us to exist. Um, Especially the people living out in the bushes and shit. Like, man, the other day I wasn't joking when I said that I seen two human popsicles, like, on a bench. Like, they were there and they looked like popsicles. Like, um, and I think the next day I gave up my blankets. I had like 3 or 4 blankets, and then the next day when I went to Walmart, I seen 3 people with uh, the hospital blankets. You know how they're really thin? They're like this material right here, like real thin, right? I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, they had blankets like that, and they were walking towards me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I remembered how cold it was the night before, and I went in and I gave them. I gave up 3 of my blankets. I only was left with 1.5. The half was the other one my sister gave me, but it's just I felt the cold just looking at them shivering, to where I'm like, I know I have extra blankets. I know I don't need them all, and I could, give some up, and I did. And I was kind of regretting it last night, but not really, because even though I gave up my blankets, I'm still not doing as bad as them, because they live out in the open under bushes and shit, right? They say they live right there on Kilton and Federal, on that bike path right there. It's a man and two dogs and two women, and they say they live right there, right? And yeah, I'm like, man, and shit like that, you don't. I want to say I didn't want to regret giving them my blanket, but man, it was kind of cold. It wasn't even that cold last night compared to other nights. But yeah, it's just crazy. But shit like that, stuff like that we could do, and God will take care of us. Like, that's all I could say about that. Other than that, you guys have a beautiful day, and uh, go out there and be the best version of you, to where people are gonna remember you, whether you're in their life now or whether you're not in their life, but they're gonna feel when you're not around.